My name is Joyce Evans. My maiden name was Joyce Leatham. I was born in March 1926 in Glossop, Derbyshire.
So Auntie Joyce, what are your memories of wartime in Manchester?
We moved to outside Manchester, and I grew up there mostly and going to school there. And then when I was 14, I had an abscess on the drum of my ear, and I had to go into the hospital, and that was in 1940. I went into Salford Royal Hospital to have an operation, which was done all from the inside of my ear. And I was in the hospital for just over 2 weeks during the time of the Blitz in Manchester. When you first went into the hospital, we were on the 4th floor, the top floor of in the ward. And when the Blitz was on, all our beds were pulled in away from the windows and moved into the centre of the ward. And then after I had my operation and was able to be moved, when the sirens went, all the patients that were able to be moved were moved down into the basement of the hospital in beds. But during the time I was up in the ward, the nurses were running back and forth with buckets of water to put out the incendiary bombs on the roof. Once the sirens went off, all the lights in the ward went off, and the children, everybody was crying because they didn't like the dark, of course, and we were settled, and you had to be quiet and just watch the nurses running up and down the ward. That was the frightening part. And then my father would phone the hospital every day, every morning, to see if I was all right. But after I came out of the hospital, everywhere around was bombed. And then after, the hospital itself was bombed, and some of the nurses that looked after me killed.